Hello students, we are going to start chapter 1, nutrition in plants. In this chapter we are going to learn about autotrophs and heterotrophs, photosynthesis, parasites, saprophytes and insectivorous plants. Before that, first we are going to do introduction. Food is essential for all the living organisms. It consists of different components such as carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and refuge. These components of the food are called as nutrients. Each nutrient performs a specific function such as they provide energy, they help in repair and growth of the body, they help to fight against the diseases. So these nutrients perform a specific function. Next, mode of nutrition in organisms. The first is, what is nutrition? The process of obtaining and utilizing the food by organism is called nutrition. Nutritions are mainly of two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. First we will see autotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which a living organism can make their own food. So autotrophic nutrition is nothing but it is a mode of nutrition in which the living organism can prepare their own food. That is called as autotrophic nutrition. The organisms having this type of nutrition are called as autotrophs. So autotrophs are nothing but the organisms which can prepare their own food. We know that plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So that is why we call them as autotrophs. Why we call plant as autotrophs? Because plants can make their own food and by the process of photosynthesis. Algae and some bacteria are also the examples of autotrophs. So this is about autotrophic nutrition. Next, heterotrophic nutrition. Most of the organisms and animals depends on the plants and other animals for their food. We, the human beings, we also come under animals. So we depend upon plants as well as animals for our food. So this type of mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So this is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is the animals that depends upon the plant and other animals for the food. Organisms having this type of nutrition are called as heterotrophs. So the organisms which are having this type of nutrition, this mode of nutrition, they are called as heterotrophs. Next, what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process in which chlorophyll containing green plants in presence of sunlight uses carbon dioxide and water to synthesize their food. So photosynthesis is a process in which the green plants, they contain chlorophyll, a green pigment called chlorophyll. They uses the sunlight, they uses carbon dioxide and water to make the food. Most of the photosynthesis occurs in the leaves. Therefore, the leaves are called the food factories of the plant. Why the leaves are called food factories of the plants? Because the process of photosynthesis occurs in leaves. The leaves are green in color. The green in color is due to the presence of chlorophyll. The conditions which are necessary for the photosynthesis to occur: chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. These are the four conditions which are necessary for photosynthesis to occur. That is chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. These are the four conditions. So this is the equation for the photosynthesis, chemical equation. Carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it forms glucose and oxygen. This is the chemical equation of photosynthesis. So how the photosynthesis takes place? This is sunlight. The sunlight is taken up by the plant. Carbon dioxide, which is present in the atmosphere, it is taken up by the plant, that is by the green leaves. And water from the soil, it goes to the leaves. So sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll, which are present in the leaves. In presence of this, the formation of carbohydrate takes place. Carbohydrate means glucose. The formation of glucose takes place and oxygen. This oxygen moves out of the plant. See the arrow marks? The arrow marks which are indicating towards the plant, they are taken up, and which arrow mark is going out indicates that this has been gone out from the plant. Next, chlorophyll and sunlight. We are going to study the four conditions, that is chlorophyll, sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. First, we are going to study about the chlorophyll and sunlight. Chlorophyll. It is a green color substance or the pigment present in the green parts of the plant. Chlorophyll molecules are the principal site of the light absorption during the photosynthesis. They are the main site of light absorption. The light are absorbed by the chlorophyll molecules which are present on the leaves. Next, sunlight. Chlorophyll helps the leaves to capture the energy from the sunlight, and this energy is used for synthesizing of the food from carbon dioxide and water. Plants can manufacture food in presence of sunlight because sun is the ultimate source of energy. So plants prepare their food only in the presence of sunlight. In the absence of sunlight, they don't prepare their food because sunlight is one of the necessary condition for the photosynthesis to occur. So in absence of sunlight, there is no process of photosynthesis. Next, carbon dioxide and water. During the photosynthesis, the plants take in carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, plants take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the small opening present in the lower surface of the leaf called as stomata. Leaves, okay, at the lower surface of the leaves there are small opening through which the exchange of gases takes place. They are called stomata, and each stoma, okay, each one single stoma, that is stomata, is surrounded by two guard cells which regulate the closing and opening. Guard cells helps in opening and closing of the stomata. So this is the diagram of the stomata. This is the open stoma and this is the closed stoma. See this part which you are seeing, it is closed and this part is open. Next, water. The roots absorb water along with the minerals from the soil and it is transported to different parts of the plants. We know that water is taken up by the roots of the plants. This water helps to keep the plant cell rigid and touched and helps the plant to stand upright. Okay, water helps to keep the plant rigid and it helps the plant to stand upright. So this is stomata. The diagram, this is the open stoma and this is the closed stoma. Next, heterotrophic nutrition. We have done the autotrophic nutrition, that is photosynthesis. Now heterotrophic nutrition. Some plants do not have chlorophyll and cannot synthesize their own food. There are some plants which cannot prepare their own food because they don't have chlorophyll. So now how these plants depend upon how these plants take the food. So they have to depend on the other plants for the food. The mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So some plants, they do not have chlorophyll, then they have to depend on the other plants for the food. So this kind of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. The organism having this type of nutrition is mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophs. So heterotrophs are of following types: parasites, saprophytes, and symbionts. Next, parasites. Parasitic plants. Parasites are those organisms which obtain the food from the other organism called as host. So what are hosts? Hosts are nothing but parasites. These are the organisms which obtain the food from the other organisms. Parasitic plants take their food from the other plants. Like Cusita is a parasitic plant. Yellow rattle, broom rape are some other example of parasitic plants. So this is also a parasitic plant. This is Cusita is also a parasitic plant. Next, saprophytic plants. The mode of nutrition in which the organisms take nutrients from dead and decaying matter is known as saprophytic nutrients. The mode of nutrition in which the organisms take the nutrients from the dead and decaying matter, they are called as saprophytic nutrients, and the plant that uses saprophytic mode of nutrition are called as saprophyte. Okay, saprophytic means they take the nutrients from the dead and decaying matter. All saprophytes lack chlorophyll. They don't have chlorophyll. Example, fungi, mushroom, snow-rich orchid are some examples of saprophyte. Saprophytic nutrition means the organisms which take the nutrients from dead and decaying matter. They don't have chlorophyll. Okay, so there is a lack of chlorophyll in them. So see some examples like mushroom. This is a saprophytic plant. So this is mushroom. Symbiotic plants. Symbiosis is a relationship between two organisms in which both organisms are benefited from each other, and the organism present in this association are called symbiote. So symbiosis is a relation between two organisms in which both organisms are benefited from each other. Okay. Example, lichens. Lichen is an example of symbiosis in which two or more components are algae and fungus. Is lichens. See, I'll show you the lichens. These are lichens. They're attached with the plant. So this is an example of symbiosis. Okay, these lichens are in which two components are algae and fungus. The fungus provide the shelter, water and minerals to algae, and in return the algae contains the chlorophyll which prepared the food by the process of photosynthesis and provides to the fungus. So algae and fungus, they are having symbiotic relationship. What is the function of the fungus in this? The fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to algae. So algae are green in color. So what they do? They make the food through the process of photosynthesis, and this food is given to the fungus. So this is lichens. Next, insectivorous plants. So the word insectivorous, from the word insectivorous, we come to know that these plants eat insects. So we have some plants which are insectivorous plants. Some plants trap insects with the help of special leaves present in them to get the supply of nitrogenous compound. Okay, some plants they have to they have to take the nitrogenous compounds. So what they do, they trap the insect. They trap the insect with the help of special leaves. Okay, so these plants are called as insectivorous. Like pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, or sundew are the examples of insectivorous plants. The insectivorous plants are green in color, can synthesize their own food. Though they are green in color, though they can prepare the food, but they grow at the in the places where the soil is deficient in nitrogenous nutrients. We know that the plants require the nitrogenous compound, but these insectivorous plants, though they are green in color, these plants grow in the place where there is a deficiency of nitrogenous compounds. So to meet the requirement of nitrogenous nutrients, they trap the insects and kill them to extract the nutrients which are present in them. The nitrogenous nutrients which are present in them, they take from that insect. So they trap them, they kill them, and they take the nutrients from their body. So they are called as insectivorous plants. So see the diagram of insectivorous. This is a pitcher plant. See, it is green in color. The insects goes inside from this, and this part covers the tip of the plant. When it covers the tip, the insects which is present inside that, it gets killed by this plant, and then they take their nitrogenous compounds, nutrients from that insect. This is pitcher plant. And next, this is Venus flytrap. See the leaves of this. The insect sits in between them, and these leaves get closed, and the insect gets trapped in this part where it gets killed, and then they take the nutrients. So this is the Venus flytrap. This is pitcher plant, and this is Venus flytrap. Till here your chapter has been completed. Thank you.